Welcome back to Tech Talks from Commercial Baking. In this episode, sponsored by AMF Bakery Systems, I'm speaking with Clint Adams, Commercial Director, North America Specialty Segments, about automated solutions for artisan bread. Hi, Clint. Thanks so much for joining me again.
Good to see you. Always good to see you, and I appreciate it.
I love talking about artisan bread. This is a segment that has really boomed since the pandemic. American consumers have pretty much upped their standards when it comes to artisan and specialty breads. And this is great news for those small artisan bakers. What does this mean for them operationally?
That's a great question, and it's artisan style breads we will talk about because the palettes have changed in the North American and the other emerging commercial markets for breads, and so there is this need for higher quality breads, more flavors, more varieties, more shapes, more sizes. And so operationally, the facilities need to grow. If you're a smaller facility that you're already making these artisan style breads, you must grow with that business. And then also, there's another segment of our customer base that are already making types of breads, whether that's soft breads or buns, and they would like to get more into artisan bread style products. And so operationally, that's a challenge for them too, because their equipment was fitted for one type of product, but the market now is calling for a different type of product. So operationally, there's some challenges that come into play at that point.
So the good news is that artisan bread production is right in AMF's wheelhouse. What would you say are the basics that artisan bread bakers, especially the ones who might be new to scaling up, what do they need to know?
Great question, and that is where AMF, we are really fortunate that we have so many experts in our organization. We have test bakers that help formulate and help machine the products and help you scale up that business. Maybe it's a new items, maybe it's variety, whatever that may be. And then we also, with AMF, we have the ability to understand the entire process, all the way from mixing all the way back to post-packaging. And so we're able to help the customer understand what those needs are all the way through the process and guide them the right way for that process. Some customers, and particularly when we talk about artisan style products, some of them are now produced on volumetric divider technology. Today's focus is really going to be about that sheeting technology. And as these bakers are growing into this technology, we can train them on modifying their process around their plant and continue the sheeting to have the variety of different products and through the process.
Making artisan bread is not easy. So I really would love to dive into some of the challenges that these bakers face. How can you help artisan bread bakers create these wonderful bread products faster without sacrificing that quality that they've always been known for in the first place?
Largest thing you have to be concerned with is, number one, the product comes first. The brand is normally around that product and the quality of product, the expectation of what that product is. Next is going to be the capacity and how to up the speed. One way we're able to do it is with our sheeted bread technology is high hydration dough. So some of the challenges when we talk about artisan style breads, a big factor that makes them artisan style bread is the hydration level and the amount of water in that product. Well, that dough is a little bit difficult to machine because it's high in hydration. And you also have to be able to not put any added stress into that product. So our stress-free artisan line, what we do is things like no oil touching the product, where we have a very special patented process for the flour dusting. And then we also have no drops between that adds added pressure between station to station of the sheeting line. So now we're able to, just like you were at home, like an artisan baker may have on their bench top making a product, we are able to mass produce or have higher production rates on our artisan bread line by having this high hydration dough run through the process with very little touches, and then at the same time have flexibility to make a molded or a cut or even a rounded product on the same line.
That is a great segue to what I was thinking of next. And that is Automated tools, while they're so helpful, they can be really scary for a baker who's used to this handmade process. How does AMF sort of help bakers like ease their trepidation into stepping into automation and help them really get into a comfort zone while at the same time introducing them to tools that can help them continue to try new products or new varieties to sort of keep their consumer base engaged?
Yes. Well, the number one way that we help bakers and day in and day out, I happen to be in our innovation center today. And the biggest way we help customers is we're able to, in our test center, run the product on a complete industrial line. And you can bring your recipe, your product, and I'm able with my master bakers, which we have 5 or 6 that are doing nothing but running products day in and day out. As we're running the process and the client's recipe, we can guide them on the different products that are happening around the world, whether it's toppings, seed toppings, whether it's different shapes, different molded type products. Our test bakers can help that client walk through that process and see what the available tools are. At the same time, when the baker puts in this equipment in their facility, they're worried because, hey, the equipment is larger, there's more automation. Well, other challenges that come along with that usually makes them nervous. Maybe that is sanitation. How do we clean that? Well, again, we will walk through that process. And the good thing about our Artisan stress-free sheeting line, it's very toolless. We have open access to get to all of the sheeting stations as you go through the line. And then also the other thing that we will show you is the quality should improve because you're going to have more consistent. So consistent and artisan sometimes don't go hand in hand, because the artisan says, oh, this should be different. But no, what you will have is consistently different. We are looking to still make this artisan style product, but in a mass produce or in a higher volume that the end consumer really cannot tell whether it's a handmade on the bench top or whether it is in the USA and it's producing 4,000 pounds an hour.
So when you put it all together, all of these aspects, when artisan bakers are ready to scale up, there is a higher demand for their product. What does this mean in terms of ROI for a baker when investing in automated solutions?
ROI is always the concern. That's why we wake up each day to be more efficient in our production and bring in the returns for that efficiency. What we can show the baker is the comfort level of the expertise of AMF, being able to be experts in large, complex processes. As we work with small bakers day in and day out, we also work with multiple larger bakeries as well. So that vast experience all the way from the small commercial bakery that is kind of getting more into industrial size operations to larger bakeries that are much more complex. That's where AMF can help with the returns. So you do have that consistency that we were talking about on quality, that we do have a vertical startup. It's important as an artisan baker is scaling up, if it's that case, or if it's in a larger bakery that has a new product offering that we have the artisan bread sheeting line, then it's important that you also ramp up that startup time and the learning curve is there. So the combination with AMF of whether it be the test bakers helping out, whether it is our project management that is in region support. We're a global company, but what we do, we have project managers that are in region. So no matter where the equipment is built in the world, we will have project managers there in-house. So that will help in your ROI because we actually can have a vertical startup and start the line. And then we also have with our customer care, what are the questions around your spare parts? How do we supply those parts and go through that process? And again, that in-region support is going to help that baker have that comfort level, expand, have the variety, all the different things we talked about, the technology that we bring to that baker that will have that, but then we'll also have the support of and the robustness of that support through their process, which will then give better returns.
Okay, then what is the easiest way for a baker to learn more?
Well, you always have our website at amfbakery.com. You can always email us at sales@amfbakery.com. Obviously, we will be at the different shows around. I think the next show is the Bakery Showcase in Canada. It's coming up in May. You can reach us, but feel free to reach out anytime at any of those avenues that works best for you.
All right. Well, Clint, it was a pleasure talking to you. It always is. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise and walking me through all of the solutions and ways that AMF bakery systems can help artisan bread bakers produce at scale.
Again, thank you, Joni, for having me. And I always like the conversation.